Hello and welcome to On the Game with Wild Boys. This is episode 6. I'm here with Bubba
Hello?
and Ben.
Hi there.
Now Ben went to Eurogamer that was on the other day and saw a lot of stuff, I believe. Ben, talk us through it. Firstly, who did you go with?
I went with a mate, Alex. You know him. You know Alex.
I know him.
You know him.
I didn't even realise he was into games. Or is he?
Well, FIFA and generally shooting things, but nothing much more than that.
Okay.
But he likes shooting people. He loves it.
Who doesn't?
He's an enthusiast.
Just
yeah,
in games?
Yeah, and in real life.
Nice.
A cough there. Right. So, what do you want to cover? Ask me questions. Otherwise, I'll just be talking forever. So.
What did you play when you were there? Because usually you can only play about 2 or 3 games.
It was a little bit better this year, which is strange because like last year there wasn't many games and everything was behind cordons, whereas this year it's a little bit easier to play stuff. Not everything, but some things. So we got in early and we went straight for Far Cry 4, and that's I don't know if you've seen any video of it at the moment.
Only the little, trailer thing, no actual gameplay or anything.
Okay, well there's a load of gameplay videos out, and one of them is storming some kind of fortress, and you have a different choice as to how you do it, either via kind of stealth or via elephant or via the air, and you have that choice to go and do what you want. But yeah, we played that a couple of times and had enough time to really piss around with it, and it was fantastic. It's really good. I shot a monkey. That was pretty good fun.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I missed it with a grenade, so I had to run after it with a silenced pistol, and so I shot that. And I turned around, and there were people queuing, watching me running around shooting this monkey. Instead of taking out this fortress, I was chasing a monkey around the hills. But I liked it. It was pretty good. The first time I picked up the controller, I got on the back of an elephant, went charging on headfirst into the fortress. It skewered and kind of like chucked someone at about sort of 20 or 30 feet with its trunk, and then I got shot. So then I tried again. Yeah, it's really good. I'm looking forward to that.
Is there a discernible difference between 3 and 4?
I haven't played 3.
Oh, well, okay. Fair enough.
I've heard
You
it's
played
very
Blood Dragon.
I heard 3 was very, very good, and I played
It is, yeah.
Blood Dragon, which was absolutely fantastic, which is obviously based on 3. But yeah, it felt very similar to
Okay.
that. Yeah.
If it ain't broke, I suppose.
But I think, it's obviously set in kind of some kind of Himalayan country, fictional country, and there's some kind of what is it, like Shangri-La kind of dream state where you have to go and kill these guys, and you have a tiger partner or something who you can control, and he goes and fights enemies with you or something. Yeah,
Like Pokemon.
Sounds pretty crazy. That's cool. What did you say, like Pokemon? Exactly like Pokemon.
Okay, that's an interesting spin.
Far Cry 4, Pokemon.
The Pokemon edition, gold. Okay, what else did you play?
Played Evolve and had to queue a ridiculously ball-achingly long time to play that, but it was really good. Have you heard of Evolve?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that.
Okay, yeah, that was really good. 5 of us. You obviously get let in 5-man groups. So I volunteered to be the monster.
Obviously.
I want to be the monster, and I made a pain in the ass of myself in order to do that. And yeah, it was fantastic fun. Yeah, you kind of. As soon as you start, you're not in any kind of position to take on the group of 4 of them, and they have to be separated by class. So you can only have like 1 support, 1 assault, 1 medic, 1 trapper. So they can't have just like 4 assault people that come after you.
Right.
So,
Don't worry about that. My cat's going crazy. Sorry.
Drop the cup of Haribo there. Yeah, no, it's fantastic. So you have to run away and like prey on different animals and wildlife and stuff until you evolve, and then you basically come at them with a vengeance, and it's really good fun. Yeah, it was good. Yeah, looking forward to that. But I mean, there's one of those things where I'm not sure I'll buy it because it's online only. So
Right.
I don't know. It's quite intense. It's definitely quite intense. I don't think you can get too many games in a row without feeling kind of I just need to sit down or something.
That's cool. Their tagline should be "Get evolved."
Get evolved.
I've just thought of that. They can have that. That's
You can have that. Yeah, okay.
You can have it.
I'm sure they'll have that. Yeah, so played Battlefield. That was pretty cool. It was
Wait, which one? The new one?
yeah,
Evolved, the new
Hardline.
one.
Yeah,
And
again, not out to election yet. Yeah, look, really good. Yeah, there was a mode where you had to kind of steal cars and kind of keep possession of cars for a certain amount of time away from the police. Yeah, but it was pretty cool. It was mayhem, absolute mayhem. People driving like civilian cars around this kind of like trailer park, pretty much. Yeah, it was good fun.
oh man, I'm really looking forward to that. I think it will be pretty good. That's next year now, right?
Yeah, early next year, I think.
Nice. What else?
What else? So I saw Sherlock Holmes: Crimes and Punishments, but I've since bought that.
It's supposed to be good.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the first reviews I did on the site. Was the what was it? The Testament to Sherlock Holmes. I quite enjoyed that. I mean, it had some serious problems as well, but it was good fun. And there's not many games out there that are kind of detective games.
Yeah. Is it just PC?
No, it's Xbox One, PS4, all that.
Oh, is it? I might get that.
That's cool. So I saw that, but I knew I was kind of going to get it anyway because I'd played the first one, so I didn't really spend too long on that. Played Forza Horizon 2, which I've since bought. That was fantastic. Yeah, really, really good. I mean, kind of like an open world, do as you please kind of racing game where it doesn't take itself too seriously, mixed with, decent driving mechanics, which segues beautifully onto Drive Club, which was the Sony effort at the same thing, and it was just horrible. It's
Oh, really?
a nice game to drive.
Why's that?
Yeah, it's quite arcadey feel. I mean, graphically it's quite nice. I mean, I wouldn't say it's quite as nice in terms of like the touches of Forza Horizon, because that's got like, kind of you can see the evaporating puddles come off the road and the gleaming sunshine on the roads and all that kind of stuff. It's a really good looking game. But Drive Club, yeah, just wasn't very interesting, to be fair. But it is free on PS Plus next week, so.
Yeah, I heard that. There's going to be like 10 courses or something like that.
Yeah, and a few cars, yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they're hoping you're going to like it enough to upgrade
Play
your purchase. But yeah, I mean, it seems like that game's in trouble. I wouldn't imagine that's going to sell lots and lots of games.
Well, what's so great about Forza then? Because I'm from, I do the arcade kind of like, the Burnouts and Need for Speed. That's about as far as my drivingness goes.
So Forza Horizon is, I mean, it's the same kind of, or very similar car mechanics to Forza, which is the kind of Microsoft equivalent to
Gran Turismo.
So it's very. I mean, I would say it's better actually. It's in terms of its pure mechanics and everything. It's especially since the last Gran Turismo was so dire. But anyway, yeah, really kind of serious car mechanics and realistic handling, all that kind of stuff. But in an open world environment. So this Forza Horizon 2, the first one, number one, was set in some kind of fictional Colorado state, and this one's in the south of France or south of Italy, kind of like a fictional European country.
Right.
And it's kind of vineyards and coastal towns and all that kind of stuff, and you just drive around. You can hunt for cars, you can try and break speed cameras or break records on speed cameras, and you kind of seamlessly goes in against. So say you drive through there, a speed camera, and it'll tell me, oh, Sam's been through there at 120, so then I'll stop and just turn around and try and beat it, kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no pressure to do it. It just kind of constantly reminds you that other people are doing better than you, or worse. Who knows? But it's pretty cool, yeah. And you can take on all different events. So it's not just driving laps. It can be most of it will be point A to point B kind of races, but in different classes of cars. Almost always different classes of cars. So you end up with a huge garage of cars. But it's quite fast to level through the game. So you're never bored or stuck in a car for too long. It's just they've kind of got that balance quite right. So you can be doing rally courses or race tracks or off-road cars and all this kind of stuff. And it's pretty good, all with quite decent driving mechanics. Yeah, it's good.
Interesting. Cool. So what else is there? Was there anything that really? What was your most impressed?
Absolutely loads of stuff, really. To be fair, there's. Well, saw Oculus Rift again and played it because we played it last year, didn't we?
Yeah.
That weird kind of what was it?
It was like a game developer. Well, what was weird is that we
demo,
walked
wasn't
around.
it?
Yeah, and it was some game developers just like had it there. It was like, hey, play this. It was like, okay, and it was just some crappy graphics, but it was good. I was like, wow, that worked a lot better than what I thought. and then basically there's a corner of it that we had kind of walked past, and you and Ed went off, if you remember, and then I was like, I'm going to investigate this corner, and there was like this massive Oculus Rift thing, like proper thing with like Eve or whatever and all this stuff.
Oh, okay.
And then I queued up to go try it on. They were like, no, we're closed, because if you remember, it was right at the end of the day.
So that area was back at this one, right? So they had 3 games they were playing. So one was Alien Isolation, which obviously I steered well clear of because I don't want to poop my pants. That's not something I want to do.
Really?
Oh, that's literally the worst game for me. I just got no interest in playing survival horror games. I mean, this is ground we've covered many times now, but it's not for me.
I'd be all over that.
Anyway, the other games. One was Eve Valkyrie, which played was fantastic. Another one was a kind of almost looks a little bit like Mirror's Edge, but kind of a little bit more basic, but a kind of time-based first-person shooter called Super Hot. It's on PC at the moment. I think it was announced it's coming to one of the consoles at E3 or Gamescom.
It's called Super Hot.
Super Hot, yeah. It's basically you move forward, and as you move forward, as you like move forward through the environment, the time kind of progresses, and as you slow down, or kind of take a step backwards or something, the time will slow down. So it's kind of working out, you basically the game they had there was you're at the end of a corridor with 3 people shooting at you, and you've got to get to the gun that's at the end of the corridor, shoot those 3 guys, but also all the time you've got to avoid the bullets that are running, coming down the corridor at you. It sounds weird, but it was kind of a bit of a mind fuck. Yeah, it was good. It was pretty good. It was pretty good. Okay. Definitely kind of interested in it to see how that develops. And I mean, I don't know, when do you reckon we're going to see that come out for normal consumers?
I don't know. I really don't know. It's I don't know if they've said anything. I mean, I'm guessing that they'll want to get in before Morpheus and all this stuff. Exactly. I mean, I'm kind of thinking because there's not going to be much of a difference, right? I mean, between the 2 technologies. I mean, maybe there will be, but I don't know side by side. But essentially, it's going to be the same principle. So, yeah, I don't know.
I reckon it'll be out next year.
Yeah.
I reckon it'll be out like mid next year. They'll just bring it out mid next year or something, I reckon. I know that's just guessing, but I think it's been in development for ages. They've just brought out the second development kit, and that's been taken up by a lot of people. So it's in their best interest to kind of bring it out as soon as possible, I think.
It's quite funny. They spent half their time like wiping the Oculus Rift units down from one user to the next, so the queue would go twice as fast if everyone wasn't such a sweaty bastard. It's quite hot in there, but I mean, yeah, it's just they don't want to kind of put these. You used to have a horrible experience come off covered in someone else's sweat, so they're like wiping everything down. Yeah,
that's horrible.
Especially after Alien Isolation.
Yeah, I'll steer clear of that, so it's fine. Yeah, so other games, I saw Ori and the Blind Forest. That's an Xbox, kind of almost like an indie game. Yeah, it looks beautiful. Maybe this is me being a spaz or something, but as in, is that what you should say? I don't know, whatever.
I don't think you should say. I don't think there's a right way of saying it.
No, but yeah, so basically, yeah, I'm not sure that they had that it was fairly early on in the game, so you didn't have all your powers and everything. So it did, from the video you've seen, it did look fairly, limited by comparison. But
you talk about Ori.
You what?
What are you talking about now?
Ori and the Blind Forest.
Yeah, right, okay.
Yeah, and then saw The Order 1886. Yeah, that.
How did that look?
Yeah, it looks really nice.
Did you play it?
No, I mean we had to queue for absolutely ages, but they let us in to go and have a look, so we stood near some people playing it. It did look like a kind of smoggy Gears of War, really, to be honest. I mean, it does. The comparison does hold up. It's very cover-based shooter, kind of third-person style, and that's it, really.
See, what I heard about that game is that it looks incredible, but plays like shit.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. So I would, if I'd had more time or the whole weekend there, I probably would have queued to play it, but I didn't have time to do it at the time.
You didn't have time. Okay.
Didn't have time. All right. Again, another thing I know I'm probably going to end up buying, but I couldn't be bothered to play there because of the queues, was Halo Master Chief Collection. That looks very impressive. They had a load of multiplayer set up, people doing, kind of, big team death matches. It looks stunning. It really does. It's all running at 1080p, 60 frames a second. It looks really, really good. Like it's been converted very, very well. It looks smooth as anything. So that'll be quite interesting to play.
Still, the Master Bulb collection.
Yeah, well, you're not into your Halo, are you? So.
I don't know. It's like, God, do I really want to go back and play Halo again? All the Halos together. I mean, obviously people do, but
yeah, I mean, I can't. I mean, I definitely get it to play because they're all great games, but I can't see myself kind of spending ridiculous amount of hours on it and it kind of getting in the way of other games. But it's good to have and kind of go through some of the best moments with, because I think. With the way they've got it is that you can play any kind of mission from the first 4 games, or from the games that are on there, in a kind of playlist. So you can just play all the kind of vehicle missions or all the flood missions if you're a sociopath, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, okay. Sounds cool.
So Ben, can I ask you a question?
You can.
I feel like I'm on someone's. I can hear myself. That's a bit weird. If you were to play all 4 of the Master Chief, all the games in the Master Chief collection, how long do you think, hour-wise, it would take you? Like you personally, and maybe the average player who.
I don't know. I mean, I tend to like to kind of go through games relatively slowly, compared to other people. Because I mean, well, compared to you told me that Last of Us was a 10-hour game. And I was 40% of the way through it after 11 hours.
Maybe it wasn't. That's what
apparently. But I'm not one of these people that always goes, "Oh, the new Call of Duty is so short; it's only 8 hours." It's like, bloody hell, 8 hours of game time is quite long, actually. I mean, Jesus. But I mean, I would imagine, you're not going to get through those 4 games unless you're speed running in under kind of 40 hours.
Would you?
They're all 10 to 12-hour games, like campaigns at least.
Yeah. Basically, what I'm getting at is that I want to find out if there's a way of maybe making you do them back to back.
What? Stay awake for 40 hours?
Yeah.
No.
For charity.
we could do a live cast, right, and just get just sleep on the sofa and we take turns, right?
We could do, actually.
You could do that. Hey. Idea, write it down. Anyway, let's move on.
Even though I've just been very vocal about the fact that I'd never want to play it again. But, yeah.
But I will do it for the viewers.
Yeah, for the viewers, for all 2 viewers. I'll do it.
All the viewers. Okay, Sunset Overdrive.
Supposed to be good.
I didn't see anything that made me think, oh, I do really, really want to play this game. I mean, it does look. I mean, the movement and the colours and everything is quite bright, and it's quite kind of geared for people that have had too much Red Bull and stuff, but I mean, it just doesn't really interest me, to be honest. I'm probably less interested in it now than when it was kind of announced.
Really? No, I've heard it's really fun to play.
Lots of people were crowding around it, and people did look like they're having fun, but I don't know. What it reminds me of. I've heard a lot of people say it's like Tony Hawk's or something mixed with like a zombie game, but to me it looks like. It looks like Crackdown. It looks like Crackdown 2, where the parts of the city were run over with zombies. It looks almost identical to that kind of thing, but now you can like hang off of rails and stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it might be fun. I don't know. Not sure.
Okay. Well, what else was there?
There's loads of like kind of indie games. I don't know if we've got time to go through all them. Hotline Miami 2, which I know you'll like.
Yeah. Looking forward to that. Is there a release date on that?
No, didn't see one. Well, not that was announced there anyway.
Bubba, have you downloaded it yet? Have you played it?
What, Hotline Miami?
Yeah.
No, not yet.
Fucking hell, man.
Yeah,
I think it's on sale or something at the moment. Well worth it. Yeah,
it's like £1 or something. Stupid.
£1?
What, for the Vita I should get it for?
Yeah, just get it for Vita. Well, I think you can get it for PS3, PS4, whatever, but it's good for on the go.
If you buy it for Vita, it's cross-buy and cross-save, so you can get it on PS4 and record.
Oh, you can? Okay, fair enough.
It synchronises the saves between Vita and PS4.
I still need to sort my PSN account.
Why? What's wrong with it?
Got hacked.
Just, again.
Was the password password?
Mate,
Oh.
what are you saying?
Yeah. Okay.
Moving on.
Moving on. We couldn't be bothered to queue, but we snuck our head around and saw the people playing Call of Duty Advanced Warfare.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you, it looked exactly like Titanfall, but without the mechs.
Surprise.
People can now jump and kind of like wall run alongside and jump up to the top of buildings and through windows and stuff. It just looked exactly the same. Like, it's not even funny. It's holding no interest for me at all. I mean, I'll rent the campaign and play through that, sure.
Yeah.
But multiplayer didn't do it for me. I mean, it might well be good because it might take on where Titanfall left off or whatever. Might be a development on that, but I can't say that what I saw for the couple of minutes I was watching was exactly revolutionary.
Okay, interesting.
I mean, it does seem quite interesting how, I mean, what I thought about the other day was when Halo kind of was the first, or Halo 1 on Xbox One, OG, was kind of the biggest FPS on console. That was kind of seen as a bit opposite to Rainbow Six and all that kind of stuff that was going on, Counter-Strike, all that, because it was you could live a lot longer, you had shields, you could jump really high, and it was quite floaty and all that. And then Call of Duty came in, and people were a lot more happy with kind of one-shot kills and a lot of kind of fast twitch. But now it's kind of going the other way. So now like with Titanfall and with Call of Duty, everyone's like floaty jumps and jumping up walls and all this kind of stuff. So it's kind of weird how it's all evolving back the way it was.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, any other bits from Eurogamer?
One more, which was Batman Arkham Knight. We queued for about 20 minutes to get into this enclosure, and then we were kind of ambushed with it being basically a narrated video rather than actually playing it, which was
sounds great.
We would have walked out immediately. Couldn't get anywhere. So we spent the whole time trying to shout PlayStation Home or PlayStation Off to turn off the thing, but I don't think it was being played live, if I'm honest. But there was a very over-enthusiastic young man who was doing the commentating. He was insisting on shouting and kind of showing off about everything. It was just really irritating. But the game looks fantastic. But I mean, it's one of those games I'm really not sure I'd bother playing, because it's almost like it plays itself in some ways. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like where there's so many cool things happening, but what are you actually doing? I mean,
pressing one button.
You're pressing X over and over again to kind of melee people when that happens. But I mean, you're not really
kind of like a lot of the other Batman games.
Yeah. Oh no, yeah. I haven't played the middle one. I played the first one and I liked it, but it was about 3 times too long. It's one of those filler.
I really liked it. I really liked. You talk about Asylum.
Yeah. No, it was really good, but it was just way too long. It was just too much filler.
I don't know. I didn't think it was. I thought it was alright. Yeah. Okay. I've liked all of them. I've done all of them. I did really. I think Asylum was my favourite, just because it felt like getting closed. You know what I mean? Like City, when it was like, oh, we've opened you out to Gotham and the city. I was just like, it's now turned into a sandbox thing, which everything is these days. Like, I like the idea of you're in this.
It's not an excuse for them to add loads more filler. Like with the sandboxes, there's going to be 10 times more different types of collectibles, and it starts to become like which we all love.
Yeah. Well, look, I mean, that kind of leads nicely into one of the things I was going to talk about, which is Shadow of Mordor, which I've been playing. I don't know how familiar you guys are with it, or knew anything about it coming into this. Did you?
Yes.
Yes, I did.
I didn't know much about it before the other day, really. I kind of avoided it at Eurogamer and kind of pre-release. I didn't really look at anything because I just wasn't bored. I wasn't interested, like Lord of the Rings. Like, I mean, like the films, but I haven't played it in the games. It's not really of interest, to be honest. But having watched one of your excellent Twitch streams, I kind of like the look of it. It looks like an Assassin's Creed that works.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is, to be honest. I mean, like, coming from Batman, is that it's got that very similar fighting mechanic, you have to dodge at the right time, use certain button things for different ways. But the fact that it's going around, it sounds really childish, but the fact that you're going around killing orcs and stuff, and like proper, chopping off heads and stuff, it's a lot more satisfying than Batman, where like you look around at the end of it and you've just got everyone's like rolling around like clutching their heads. Oh, I've got a headache or whatever. As opposed to there's just loads of dead bodies everywhere. But
your favourite?
My favourite, yeah. But it's weird because because I'm over halfway now, I'd say probably.
It's quite dark, isn't it though?
It is quite dark, but also the game's opened out a bit, and there's this Nemesis system, which I didn't realise until I kind of researched it a bit further, which is where you're taking down members of Sauron's army, and they come back a bit later, a bit disfigured or something, or when you die, it's not like you restart. Well, I mean, it is kind of. You never actually die; you just get respawned. But the person that killed you, if he's like a boss guy, gets more powerful and promoted, or it can be just a normal orc, and then he's suddenly like a captain and all this, and he gets more powerful. And so you're kind of trying to kill the ranks, as it were. But the problem, the main thing is that there is a story, and it is good. And part of it is you're kind of making your own story as you're going around killing these orcs and generals and captains and stuff. And the fighting combat, is great, and you can go in stealthily and all this, and it's really, it's quite varied. It's really good in that respect. But before I got, up to this halfway point where they give you an ability which kind of turns things on its head a little bit, I was just like, is this just me doing a load of side missions like it is with everything these days? Do you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know, it's like, there's things like there's a duel or something between two captains, and you kill one, and the other one, if you don't kill him as well, whatever, gets more powerful. But you don't, and then someone's got promoted and all this stuff, and the ranks just keep filling up. So I'm like, is this just endless? Like, am I just? Is there any point?
I've seen people bragging on Twitter about how they've they've got that. You get like a grid, don't you, with lots of kind of like white circles and everything, and they've either got one person at the top, and that's it, the only person that's alive, or they've killed everybody. And when I saw your one, it was full, and I was like, what the hell? Like, wow, like you've got a long way to go, son.
Yeah, well, part of where I am in the story and all this stuff is that you've all the war captains, so like the heads of the army. At the moment, you've got to use an ability. I'm trying not to do it, trying to give away too much of the story, but you've got to use an ability on them, so they're going to be full because that's part of it. And I'm just trying to kind of get to them and all this stuff. I don't know. It's a bit. I'm really, really liking it and enjoying it, but there's that little part in the back of my brain being like, yeah, is this, it? It's kind of going from outpost to outpost. Same as like, stuff like Far Cry and Assassin's Creed is kind of like that anyway. But with like a kind of story running through it. But it's a very simple story, but it does work. But I'm enjoying the way it's drip feeding you your abilities, and these little bits each and every time kind of put a new skew on how you approach an outpost and all this stuff, and the way you're fighting and everything. So it's very well crafted in that sense, and it's just a really satisfying game. It's one of those things where you're like, you're thinking about playing it when you're not playing it, and you could sit down with it and do it for like 20 minutes, half an hour, or you can go on like a 3-hour binge.
Yeah, I know more about that than I've ever known at the moment, which is we'll come on to later. But
yeah.
Hey guys, I just dropped out for a second.
Okay, he's back. He's back.
I'm back.
Coming to that, I mean, having seen you play it, it does look a lot better than I thought it would be. So I'm quite interested in playing it. I mean, if I can find a space for it on the list, which is slowly growing, second by second at the moment.
Yeah.
Because there's been a lot of games come out recently with Sherlock Holmes, with Forza Horizon, and then obviously the bigger movable object, which is Destiny, which we'll come on to later. And
my list has dropped.
It's all mounting behind me now. But then, while we're on Shadow of Mordor, I've just reminded myself of the one of the main things I saw at Eurogamer, which was Assassin's Creed Rogue.
Mm-hmm.
what the hell is this? I mean, it's exactly the same as Assassin's Creed Black Flag. What's going on?
What do you mean?
It's a naval, it's heavily naval based. It's a 360 or last gen PS3 360 last gen Assassin's Creed game where you play the opposite side. You play the Templars, right? So that's the only thing that's different. So it's set in North America.
Okay.
Okay, it's set slightly before, like the generation before. It's set in the same cities. You're using similar ships, right? So what is different? It's just reuse of assets, right? It's the biggest cynical kind of cash grab I've ever conceived of. It's just rubbish. It's why.
Can I ask you a question?
And the whole
Don't hold back.
But
Can I
wait,
ask you
the
a
whole
question,
thing
mate?
is Assassin's Creed, right? Why are we now playing as a Templar? And the idea was that the assassins have the special powers of stealth, which has never ever happened in Assassin's Creed. Stealth and being able to use knives that come out of your arms and stuff. But now this Templar guy is running around with it. What?
Yeah,
When did that happen?
But Ben, people are going to buy it.
Oh yeah, people are going to buy it.
They don't
Captured
give a
partisans digging their own grave.
They don't give a shit.
No,
They
they don't.
it's just another Assassin's Creed game. They've got a lot of fans. Why not? Why not put another game out that people can buy if they can't buy Rogue? Not Rogue, Unity. Why not buy it?
I wish they'd concentrate on producing one good game a year, or if they have to do it a year, but one good game every 2 years rather than the dross they put out every year now. And now this year there's two, but there's not two because there's 2.5. Because when you pre-order both of them or something, you get a free platform Assassin's Creed, which is set in ancient China. So they've made 3 Assassin's Creed games this season, right? 3 Assassin's Creed games coming out between now and Christmas.
Between now and Christmas as well.
Yeah, 3. Are you joking?
How many games are Ubisoft bringing out this Christmas?
True. Thousands.
Fucking hell.
Unbelievable.
Taking over the world.
Anyway, right, enough of that
One
bullshit.
sandbox at a time. What were you going to ask?
Oh,
What were you
feathers.
What were you going to ask, Bubba, about Assassin's Creed?
I was just going to say that I was just saying the same thing. Why not? Why not? Why wouldn't they put another game out? Because they know people are just going to buy it, so it doesn't mean shit to them.
Yeah, but they're kind of. I mean, in the long run, they're kind of ruining their own. I mean, I kind of hope it happens now, but they're kind of ruining their own IP, aren't they? They're diluting it with nonsense.
But it's a similar thing that's happened with Destiny, right? I know we're coming on to that, but Destiny as a game, mechanically is fantastic. As an achievement, not exactly the most amazing storytelling and everything. So
yeah,
the reviews of the game haven't been stellar. Bungie probably won't be very happy with it.
There's a lot more
like,
going on there with Destiny than there is in Assassin's Creed. A lot more.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. I mean, I see what you're saying, but yeah, they're not pumping out that game or 3 games like it every year just to try and
but in terms of integrity,
name.
Bungie are the ones taking a hit, right?
Well, I don't know. Well, okay, we can come on to that. We can come on to that later. But I think there's something wrong with the approach they took with Destiny and the story. But I don't think it's completely lost. And when Destiny the topic comes up, we'll cover that.
I got Shadow of Mordor as well, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I mean, the thing is,
Have you started that one?
Yeah, I played it for about 10 minutes, and then decided to play something else. Not because, I don't know, yeah, not at all. I just wasn't in the mood. It didn't grab me instantly. I thought the beginning, the story, how it started, is pretty crushing.
Yeah.
And I think the gameplay is really good, but it is another one of those games that plays itself for you. You know what I mean?
It used to begin with, yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Is like Batman does, and at first you're like, I'll just keep tapping square or whatever, right? And then after a while, it's like, oh, okay, it gets a little bit more, different enemies. You have to use different things. All of a sudden, you think about it. It becomes more like a dance of fingers, rather than
I mean, I think Batman games, or
Stubbing.
Batman games play themselves far more than the Assassin's Creed games do. You've probably got a bit more player agency in those than you do in the Batman ones. The Batman ones are very kind of linear. Very, it's only one button you're pressing the whole time.
I've never been a big fan of those
supposed
Batman
to be
games.
more in Assassin's Creed anyway. But I mean, yeah.
I know what you mean though, but it's like I don't know. It's weird. Like with this one, I think mainly because you're up against at any one point basically when you're in I keep calling them outposts, which essentially is what they are, but you're usually against a minimum of about 3 kind of special enemies, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And so they all have different. They have there's this whole thing like so they have strengths and weaknesses which you can gain intel on when you interrogate other orcs and all this stuff. There's a whole fucking system in place. But so when you're fighting, you've got your normal orcs, then you've got ones who throw spears, you've got your archers, you've got like super strong ones that you can't hit normally, you've got ones with shields, and they're like your normal kind of orcs. So on top of all those, which you have to approach in different ways, you've got the special ones, which you have to be aware of as you're fighting. So it's a little bit more hectic. So I've died like loads of times, as you've probably seen. If you've been watching it. So it's, whereas with Batman, I didn't die as much, but also it's because you just know the certain type of enemies and that's it. There's no real, like, special one or anything, let alone 3 different ones.
Yeah.
And you can kind of use them against each other sometimes and all this stuff. So I know what you're saying when you say it plays itself, but I feel anyway, with Shadow of Mordor, you're more aware. It's like,
no, sorry, I didn't mean that about Shadow of Mordor. I just meant it against Batman. Really, it's a beautiful looking game, but it's one of those ones where you're kind of thinking, well, what is it that I'm actually bringing to this? I'm not really doing anything other than just tapping a button.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. And that's kind of how Shadow of Mordor does essentially start. So it's kind of button mashing, and you feel like a bit invincible when then when it gets a bit out of hand, start. Yes, but it's nice because it's got that balance between not making you too, well at the moment anyway, like not making you too powerful against, but and also not making you die too much, even though I've died a lot. I don't know, but it's good in terms of. I mean, it just kind of came out of nowhere as well. I mean, I only got it for the simple fact that it got some really good reviews. So it deserves it as well. But whereas I'm always going on about Wolfenstein and what I'm not. But in terms of going, it's like what a surprise! It's really great, and I was like, it's not that great. Like with this, at least it's like it's really great. I'm like, yeah, it's really great. Actually, you're right. You're right.
You're right.
Yeah, you're right all along. But I would definitely play it. It's great. It is really good. It's just satisfying. It's just like it brings you back to the thing where you're just like, man, just enjoy playing it.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing, isn't it? There's so many games recently where I can think of if I look through my like achievement and trophy scores where I've played and not really enjoyed all the way through. I mean, I did quite enjoy Wolfenstein all the way through, for the most part anyway. But I mean, if I was to actually let's do it now. And yeah, but do you know what I mean? Yeah, sometimes you're looking at You're going through a game just to kind of say you've completed it, or just to say you've done it, and you're not really like having fun with it. Whereas
Dishonored, Dishonored.
Yeah, I haven't played that yet. I've heard that about Dishonored, Sam.
Okay, well, I'll kind of bring Shadow of Mordor to an end because I want to hear about Destiny as well. Baba, do you want to talk us through it? Just because I feel like me and Ben have been talking a lot.
Oh yeah, well. Destiny is very, very good. I got it when I was in the States a couple of weeks ago, and first thing that struck me was the presentation of the game. I think
the box,
mate.
What a great box! One of the great boxes.
This instruction manual has been expertly presented.
The GUI, all right.
Right. Okay.
I thought like the presentation like initially was.
Sorry.
I thought the GUI was awesome. I thought the interface is really, really good, really well put together, and I heard that they've spent a shit ton of money on hiring some people and like looking into ergonomics and things. The other thing is, I know. Did you guys ever think like you have to scroll for everything in that game. Ben, you got it as well.
I haven't got it. I'll
But
say this now.
Ben, you know that you have to scroll for everything in the game.
What do you mean?
Like, that's like, you know, it's like it seems like you've got a pointer.
Oh yeah.
That's the only thing that I think is slightly irritating about the way in which the interface is done. I
Well,
think
I don't know, really. I mean, I think that works really well because if you were trying to do that via your D-pad, think how many options are on that screen at once. How lost would you get just by how many? You'd spend so much longer rather than navigating via D-pad than.
You think so?
Yeah, definitely. What you'd spend so much longer.
I think it's so suited. That sort of thing is suited to mouse and keyboard more than it is to.
I mean, yeah,
a thumbstick
would be better, but that's the way. That's the quickest way I reckon they could have implemented it on console. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, if you're trying to use D-pad on that would just take forever.
But
I mean, you spend enough time in there doing it already, don't you?
yeah. But getting into the game, I started playing I chose to play as a Titan. The three classes: Warlock, Hunter, and Titan are the three classes you can choose from. And I
So
thought
which one's the Titan? What's these?
Titan's the big, strong dude.
Okay.
Warlock is more magic focused, and the Hunter's kind of long range apparently, but he's like the kind of in between. He's more in between of the Titan and the Warlock, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple of my mates were playing, and two of them were saying that they started with a Hunter, then they had a Titan as well, and they said they couldn't really tell that much difference between like the weight of the characters and. There didn't seem to be like that damning a difference, but they were only at like level, I think 7 or 8 at that time.
Yeah,
at that point in time.
I don't think you
So that didn't really come into. That didn't come into my mind too much then. But then when the story started, I was just like, I didn't care. At all. It didn't do anything for me. Like, I know a lot of people have been saying the same thing as well, but I was hoping that it would be different for me. It would be like a Halo story or a Mass Effect story. Even though I haven't gone through the Mass Effect games, I was like taken aback by the story.
That makes no sense.
No, but like
I was hoping it'd be a Mass Effect story that I don't know about.
No, but like, you know, the first Mass Effect game, I was playing that, and I do really enjoy the story of that, and I kind of gotten invested in the story of that, but this Destiny game, there's nothing there. I just don't care at all about what's going on. I actually don't know what the story is, and I'm level 21.
Okay.
Yeah,
I have no idea what's going on.
I think, Bubba, and this is something that I haven't seen picked up on, which is given the amount that's been written about Destiny, I find it rather surprising. But first off, there's an amount of hype going on about Destiny that people get into thinking it's going to be like a Call of Duty kind of game. It's not at all. It's nothing like that.
No.
Right? It's not a campaign story mode where you go through beginning, middle, and end, right? And then you play it and you're done. And then if you want to know what the story is, you do it again, right? That's not what happens. It's because it's not an FPS. I mean, it's an FPS or it is an FPS, but it's an MMO as well. Okay, so it's that's one of the main types of games that it is. So if you could then compare it to other MMOs, how is the story delivered? In a very similar way. Now, I'm not completely defending the story because I think that they've made it so there's a lot of missteps they've taken with like it is overly vague. I mean, I quite like some of that in the sense of the starting position is they don't really know how they're, or that's the way they're sort of saying it, is they don't really know how they're kind of alive and what's going on, and there's definitely a bit of mystery about how you've come back to life, because that ghost, Mecha Dinklage kind of comes along and revives you, and you're like, I've just been conjured from a load of bones. How would this work? But back to the point. If you then compare it against other MMOs and how they deliver their stories, it's very similar.
Can I just say you've cleared it up a lot about the story for me?
Okay, so the idea is the idea is that basically the story is there if you want it, if you want to go and hunt for it and listen to the cutscenes and come on to the main gripe I've got with it in a minute, but as in it's not the focus of it, because you're playing the same missions again and again and again at different, with different modifiers and with different people and with different fire teams.
Yeah,
and
but
stuff.
my whole thing is the story is part of the world.
Yeah, no, entirely.
But the world seems completely empty and lifeless. It doesn't seem like it's not a buzzing. It doesn't seem like anything's going on. It just seems completely empty and lifeless. It seems like
in what way?
The tower, for one.
Yeah.
It's a piece of shit. It's just like, what? There's nothing there. What, they drop in a football from time to time? Like, what
are you talking about? They drop in a football.
There's a football there you can bounce around, and that's
yeah. And then you've got people like dancing around, and
there are two major missteps I reckon they've made, right? And
then the whole one more thing, getting to the tower in the first place from a mission takes like 10 minutes, and then getting from the tower to a mission takes another 10 minutes. Like going into
10 minutes is a massive exaggeration.
Okay, well it takes like.
It takes a couple of minutes.
Okay, no, Ben, being realistic, to get from the tower to starting the mission takes about 2.5 to 3 minutes. Am I exaggerating?
So that is 30% of 10 minutes, isn't it?
No, but 2.5 minutes to 3 minutes to get into a mission.
It's a lot less than 10, isn't it? Right, okay.
But still, it's a ridiculous amount of time.
I agree, yeah. And what you should be able to do, and what everyone's hoping they're going to add to the game, is that you boot into the tower, or you boot into orbit and then you go from there. But an option to boot into the tower is essential. So back to the story, right? One of the main problems I've made with the story is that a lot of the backstory that should be kind of in the cutscenes, of which there are only a few, is kind of hidden away in these cards on the website and on the mobile app. Now, most people...
Who the fuck is going to go on to that?
Well, who the hell is going to want to go on and read all of that stuff, apart from me? So you can't expect people who are going to really kind of get invested in the story too much when you've kind of left it in the background so much, which is I think is a bit of a mistake, because people, there is room in that game for them to have kind of delivered the story in a more kind of prominent way. Even if people are playing the missions again and again and again, they should let the cutscenes be skipped, and then that way people aren't bothered about it. But the cutscenes that there are can't be skipped. Or the one I keep on encountering can't be skipped anyway. So that kind of rubs people up the wrong way, and then because they've left it for people to go and find, it gives an impression, and quite rightly so, that there is no story, which is like, well, okay, they haven't delivered that in the correct way. The other reason why it definitely feels more empty than it is that their social features are maybe a little bit kind of coming forwards. Whack.
There's no proximity chat.
Why?
What's that about?
I kind of agree with that in a way, but as in, why is there no fire team chat? So when you get paired with a load of strangers on a fire team, you need to be able to communicate with them when you're doing, like Vanguard strike lists or whatever. You need to be able to communicate with them. Why? Yeah,
but they don't want some like 16-year-old guy coming on there being like, "Focus has been the pussy." It's like they don't want.
I think I heard someone call them squeakers the other day.
Yeah.
For kids, they're like not. Their voices haven't quite dropped. But that's the reason why there's no proximity chat, because they don't want people's experience.
But you should have the option.
Yeah, no. So what they're going to be adding in, they've already said, is an opt-in for fire party chat. So you say, okay, it'll either be in the menus or it'll be an opt-in at the start of the mission. Do you want to be able to chat with your fire team? Yes. Okay, fine. Because at the moment it's just complete ball ache, isn't it? Setting up a party that goes on, and it's much harder to set up a party on Xbox One than it ever used to be. Set up a party, then do the fire team separately. Oh my god, how long is this going to go on for? So yeah, it's just, there's some thing, and this is the thing, right? With an MMO, judging it on the version that's released on the disc is borderline pointless, because they've already made some changes that have kind of impacted the game quite heavily, like the loot cave and engrams and all that kind of stuff.
Can someone explain to me the loot cave?
Okay, so that's basically when you go out into the maps of Destiny, you can go in patrol mode, which is basically the enemies that are there in the same locations as you would encounter them in the story mode.
Mm-hmm.
But they respawn on timers, and there was one point where there's a particular kind of battle that's raging constantly on the map between two factions of aliens, and they spawn from a cave every 6 seconds. So you can stand quite far back beyond this kind of invisible barrier, and people would, and I tried it out myself. It's quite good. You can stand back there and just shoot inside the cave, and then 6 seconds later they'll respawn all inside the cave. And as long as there's like a couple of you to make sure they don't escape, you can just pelt this cave with ammo constantly until you're out of ammo, and it'll drop loads and loads of loot. So, you know, like guns and armor and all this kind of stuff, and you go in and collect, and then you start again. But people were doing it for hours and hours and hours on end, and it's just it's kind of ruining the game, because they're not really playing the game, they're just kind of cheating in a way. Well, not cheating, but kind of
exploiting.
Exploiting it. So Bungie kind of sort of said, well, our vision for this game of how people were going to play it was not people lining up and, you know, dancing with each other and cooperating on how to shoot into an empty cave, into a black cave. So they've removed it basically, or they've changed the timers and nerfed it. So so that's gone. But with it being an MMO, and that's what it is, it's very focused on, or it's very reliant on how they're updating it, and they're updating it quite well and quite frequently. There's already been 2 or 3 patches that have changed, you know, quite significant parts of the game, and as it goes forward, you know, that's pretty encouraging, I think.
Can I just say about that? I don't think that any game should be given 3 months before a review. You get the game out of the box, you play it, you review it. I don't think there should be allowances made, no matter what genre the game is, until they've brought out all their packs, they've patched it to shit, and they've listened to user feedback. Then the game should be judged. I think the game should be judged instantly. The first thing you do when you play the first like 4 weeks of playing the game is but you know what I mean? It should be judged from what comes out of the box. It shouldn't be judged on what they made.
It shouldn't be judged on the experience. Like, so, you know, if a game like Assassin's Creed is terrible, and everyone goes, oh, this is terrible, what's going on? It's buggy, this mission doesn't work, this doesn't work, and they never patch it, then that's judged, right? But if people say, oh, this loot cave is ruining the game, or engrams are dropping and I'm not getting what I should out of it, and they change it within a couple of weeks, right? That's presumably a lot better as a service to ongoing gamers. And in an MMO, you're going to be putting a lot more hours into this game than you are in a standard game, right?
I completely understand that, but what I'm saying is, like, do you go into an exam, you do an exam, you finish it, and they give you a shit grade, and then they're like, you know what, come back, correct all the shit that you fucked up on, and we'll give you an A.
Wouldn't you? And I agree with that, but why is there such a need to have a score on something rather than? And this is what.
But that's how the games business works, right?
Yeah. But as in, is there an? But it also works on the fact that Destiny is, you know, it's sold, you know, enough money to buy us, you know, 10 times over.
Yeah, of course.
And well, more than that. But as in, you know, it's sold a ridiculous amount of money, and regardless of all these issues, and we're, you know, having a rather, you know, fruity discussion about it, we're both still playing the game, right?
Yeah.
And I've got loads of friends online that are still playing it, and I don't know how many hours. I would be frightened to try and look at how many hours I played, but a ridiculous amount of hours put into this game, and I've got no intention. I'll probably start a new character soon. So, you know, it's
what level are you?
27.
Damn. All right, fair enough. But
it's still if you reach a plateau or kind of that area, and you kind of have choices to make with your armor and all that kind of stuff. So it just gets a bit. But you know, it's one of these games where they're going to be changing it, but you're still going to be playing it. So the game you're playing is going to change, isn't it?
Definitely.
Regardless of that, I'm still having an amazing time with it, and it's amazing fun to play. Like, in a co-op sense, when you get friends together, it's the most fun I've had in a game for years, basically.
No.
Definitely.
Really?
It doesn't touch Left 4 Dead for me.
Left 4 Dead. Wow.
Oh man, that was brilliant multiplayer.
Yeah, that was.
But
same room, local multiplayer.
Yeah.
Oh, I love local multiplayer games, but yeah, I mean, it's the best game I've played this year, other than Stick of Truth.
Okay.
Did you play Stick of Truth, Sam?
Yeah, I did it. I almost 100%ed it, but I didn't.
Almost. It's not that hard to 100%.
I know, but I didn't.
Can I say one more thing about Destiny quickly? You know, every time you start a mission,
Mm.
you start in the same place on
No.
it on the planet.
Is that a question or a
No,
statement?
no, no. But that my experience so far has been like every time I've started a different mission, I start pretty much in the same place.
Some missions will start in the same place depending on where. If you look on the map,
Yeah,
if they're located close to each other and that's the mission, then they'll start in the same place. If they're located on the other side of the map, they'll start nearer there.
Okay.
I don't know. I just think that's stodgy as well.
Look, I have, considering that you know my thoughts on the alpha and the beta. Is there any point in me getting it?
Well, I think you'd enjoy play. I mean, this is the thing. I think it's far more of a social game than it is
Yes.
than it is a play through yourself. Although, ironically, the the only way you'll ever get to understand what the hell the plots, or what there is of a plot is actually about, is by playing through yourself. So you're not listening to other people chatting while I mean, most of the plot, and this is something we've really had a problem with. Most of the plot is delivered during the kind of load screens going into a mission. Basically, they have
Right.
Peter Dinklage talking to you, telling you about what you're about to do. It's like, oh, okay. No, why couldn't that be delivered via a cutscene or some more interesting way? But
Okay.
in terms of what type of game it is it's so much fun. Like playing with other people is absolutely great fun. And the thing they have got right brilliantly, other than the shooting, which we're never really in doubt of the fact that it's a
Yeah.
mechanically amazing game and visually stunning, is the loot thing, and that's the kind of MMO side. Like you're constantly motivated to play to kind of rank up different skills or reputation or new weapons or armor and all this kind of stuff, and it just keeps. It's like crack basically.
It really is.
It's a horrible game. It's like a drug. It's ridiculous.
You do
But
become.
it's really good playing with friends though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is like the main reason I play is for the loot. Like I do enjoy the shooting and stuff, but it's all like trying to find better armor, better
Yeah,
weapons,
exactly.
and all that stuff. It's really really good in that respect. But
And one of the things you hope they're going to bring to it is being able to trade, not necessarily like an open kind of
drop
open
things,
market, but to be able
just
to.
being able to drop things,
What do you mean?
as in like put an item down.
Fallout style.
Yeah, just put it on the floor so somebody else can pick it up.
Oh yeah, well, trade with your friends, yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I can kind of understand why they haven't put it in yet, because you'll have, well, obviously they can stop people doing that by putting level caps on a lot of the stuff, but I can understand why they haven't put it in yet, but they should put it in at some point.
They should definitely put in friend trading, because
Yeah.
I think that's essential. But you can trade between your characters. So if you get like armor that's for a different class, and you intend to do another class at some point, there's no point in getting rid of it, because it'll be good for you when you start the other class. But you can see why they haven't done it as an open marketplace for trading, because on like other MMOs, so say,
eBay.
like Online or like World of Warcraft or something, you get people, warehouses of people in China or India or wherever other countries exist or wherever. But as in, they literally just, it's their job to farm like certain resources within the game and then sell it for actual money that
Yeah.
people pay for. They haven't got the time to grind this stuff out, and they pay for it, and they make actual real world money from it. And that's something I don't think they're keen on doing. So it'll be friends only, wouldn't it? Which is fine, which is great.
Yeah, I agree.
That would be a serious improvement. But I bet that happens. Maybe that's what happens. Yeah.
I love the Crucible stuff, I have to say. I think the Crucible stuff is brilliant.
Actually, I reckon that's another major flaw, I would say.
Really?
The game, yeah. I mean, some of it's really good. That's like the PvP stuff, so the multiplayer stuff.
Okay.
So that's what when you level up your character, you get and your weapons and your armor, you get certain perks. So it's like leveling up your armor, you'll get more ammo. Leveling up a weapon, you'll get like faster reload, or like missed shots will return to your magazine or whatever. And leveling up your character, you get more special powers. But when you're in Crucible, it's all kind of leveled off, but those perks still exist, which is fine. It's kind of like a modern shooter like that. But what the problem is, I would say, is that the matchmaking is quite fast at finding other Guardians to have matches against, and I haven't really had a problem with that. But the problem, I would say, is that they don't. from my experience, they tend to rate you on your overall level, but you carry your same level from Crucible to single player or co-op story mode kind of thing, because it's all one thing, right? So you've got a level for your character, whether it's multiplayer or player versus enemy, and it seems to be rated on that. But if you've just been shooting computer controlled AI, it's nothing on a human, and you'll just get rinsed, but you'll be rated as one of the higher characters, so you'll be with a load of plebs basically. So I don't think the matchmaking is actually very good in terms of skill rating.
I agree in that. I think that, yeah, fair enough. But I just think the way in which it plays is awesome. I think the modes are really good. I don't know. I like the weight of the game.
Yeah. Good fun.
Stuff. I think it's really, really good.
Yeah, it's good fun, like that the control map thing or control.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
So, am I getting it?
Well, if you want to, what are you going to play it on? You haven't got an Xbox One yet, have you?
Oh, you guys all got an Xbox One?
Yeah.
Look, we've got both now, Sam, so it's time for you to step up.
Mate. Sony.
Mate.
Mate. Okay, well, let's put Destiny to one side then. It sounds as if it's exactly what I thought it would be. And that I'd been saying. No story.
It's like a fantastic margarita pizza.
That's a really good analogy. Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
It's like a really expensive margarita pizza.
It's like cocaine, which I've heard is super refreshing.
Well, what have you been playing, Bubba? FIFA, I imagine?
Yeah, FIFA 15 came out.
Typecast.
FIFA 15. FIFA 15 came out, and I got the trial when I was away, and I played that a little bit. And then
what's that? A trial?
A trial. They gave you 6 hours to play the game as much as you want.
Sorry.
Full
Right.
game.
Okay.
So I played that and thought it was really good. And then the demo came out like a couple of weeks before that, and I thought the demo was brilliant. I thought they weighted the game really well. I thought they the keepers were massively improved. I thought the defenders were really well improved and things. I thought the game was a lot more responsive than it was the year before.
Right.
And then they brought out the full game, and things changed. It was, I don't know. It just didn't feel as good. Responsiveness of the players isn't fantastic. Ultimate Team, they haven't made that many changes to it. It's still extremely addictive, but it's more of the same of last year. I think that they really need to patch a lot of things in the game. Like now, from kickoff, you can technically kick off to a player and run straight through somebody's defense and score. Never do.
Where everyone was running towards the ball like a load of toddlers.
That was on the PC.
All right, wicked.
Yeah, that was a PC issue. They fixed that now. But on the consoles, a lot of players, like some players, like are quite technical in terms of skill, so they can just do the skill moves. And if you get a skill move right in this game, you take a defender completely out of the game. So some players can like do 3 skill moves and then score instantly. Okay. There's no real midfield play. It's very end to end. So matches will be like 7-5 and things like that. It's like I used to have a lot of 0-0 games in the other one and things like that, but now it just seems like people are definitely going to score every match. Defenders aren't as good. They're not as clever. And then we all knew that there was scripting in the game. So say if you've got a lot of momentum and you're winning, like if you win, say, 5 Ultimate Team games in a row, FIFA would kind of make your defenders a little bit shitter in the 6th game. Like, they won't be playing as well. Your keeper would be a little bit crapper. Your striker will start missing more shots. You know what I mean? Right. So that you'll think that you have to buy more packs of cards to improve your team and buy new players and spend more money, basically, on Ultimate Team.
Oh my God, that's disgraceful.
But it's
disgraceful.
Oh my God, yeah. Everyone thinks it's shit, but it's what they do. EA have been known for doing this. So like,
Oh fuck that! As soon as I heard about that, if I was a FIFA fan and I heard about that, I would give the game up. That is
no,
disgraceful.
yeah,
You've
they
already
do
paid
that.
the money for the game. Like, what is their problem?
So as soon as you, as soon
Oh
as
my God.
so their reason for doing it, and they actually like, I think somebody mentioned that like one of their community managers or something said that it's actually in the game. Their reason for it being there is not to deter new players to coming in
Shall I tell
fresh.
you what their reason for the game for that feature is? Is because they like money.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we know that, but they say they don't want to deter newcomers. So so for example, I could have a team with all the best players in the world, and then somebody could come along with a team of bronze players, which are like the shit players, right?
Mm-hmm.
And absolutely dominate me because they call it FIFA AIDS, because I've been
They call it what?
AIDS, because I've been aged in the game. Like
AIDS?
yeah.
What,
These
like
guys,
HIV positive?
yeah.
I'm not just positive. I'm just positive.
But people call it AIDS, and then like this guy will just come along and completely dick me with an absolutely abysmal team, and then
Give you AIDS.
yeah,
Just,
mate, EA,
just FYI, guys, the language on this podcast is taking a turn for the worst.
apologies. So another thing that they think is fair to do is like now the energy of players is like saps really really quickly. Like last game, if you played, I don't know, the same striker 3 times, he would have like a decent amount of energy to go into the 4th game. Now people's energy just like completely dies, so that means you have to buy even more like fitness cards, but if you don't have enough money to buy fitness cards, you can't play with those players. The only way to remedy that is to buy packs.
What is this cards business about?
So yeah, it's all about money.
Is this Pokemon again?
It's like Pokemon, but you get to actually play with them. You know what I mean? And Ultimate Team is the main part of the game that I play, and this year especially, you can like in terms of scripting and stuff, it's a lot more obvious. This year,
Okay.
like defenders are appalling, goalkeepers aren't great. The ball seems like a ping pong ball. Like the ball physics is really really bad this year as well. So this FIFA 15 kind of seems like a little bit of a step back, but I've heard that they are going to patch it, and they're going to patch certain parts, but you don't know what they're going to patch, and they're going to patch things that everybody hates, and they say that they listen to their fan base, but they really don't. They just do what they think needs to be improved the next year, because they're like, okay, these keepers are pretty shit, so we're gonna, really make the keepers a lot better this year. How's about you just fix the crap from the year before that didn't work, that people were complaining about, and then just
Otherwise,
put
no one will
that.
buy it next year.
Yeah.
If you keep making it imperfect, then there's always room for improvement, which means everyone's going to keep buying the next year.
Which is very true, but like this year, it seems like they've taken a massive step back.
Isn't PES coming out this year?
Which I played the demo of,
Any
and
good?
thought was very very good.
Okay.
Like the players seemed a lot more. I don't know. They seemed a lot more. Like everything seemed a little bit more physical than in FIFA. FIFA seemed like a kind of kiddie football game in terms of PES this year. I personally think, but I don't know. Like even the career mode hasn't changed that much, and there's stupid AI issues. Their counters don't work either in the game. So in football, the clock usually not like on TV, but the clock stops when the keeper's got the ball for like a goal kick or like a free kick. And in the old FIFAs, that always used to happen for throw-ins and stuff like that. But in this one, the counter keeps on going. And yeah, it's just they've got a lot of issues in this game. There's a lot of problems with this FIFA, and I don't know when or if they're going to fix it. Yeah.
Well, the other one's probably out next week, so FIFA 16 out in a couple of weeks.
Out of 10, Bubba, what would you give it? Just offhand.
6.
Wow, that is low.
Yeah, I'd give it a 6 out of 10.
But is it low? That's not really that low.
Last year's
For a
FIFA, I
FIFA
thought was
game.
good. Last year's FIFA, I'd have given an 8 out of 10. This one is 6 because there's glaring issues in this game. It's like proper mechanical bullshit going on in this game that they just need to repair. Like, really badly. Keepers just run out of goal and do the dumbest shit. Like, they'll run past the ball.
That's less than a 6 then.
That's just
Yeah, they'll just run past the ball completely.
that's
My mate,
breaking the game.
my mate had a
Exactly,
cameraman
it's less than a
run
6.
onto-
If it's a broken game.
Oh yeah. There's massively there's massive breaks in this game. Loads and loads.
That's
of
what we were discussing, Sam, for the site. But as in, if games media, you never ever, or very very rarely ever see a games review on like a proper site, on a big site, sorry, that deals anything less than a 6. So what's the point in having a 1 to 6 scale if you're going to rate all the games between in 40% of your possible ratings? It's just stupid. But then it all feeds into they don't want to burn their bridges with publishers and all this kind of stuff. It's just nonsense.
No one's going to give FIFA under 70, or any big website's not going to give FIFA under 70. It's EA's flagship game every year. It makes them a shitload of money. Like one person will spend I'm not joking, over £1,000 buying like gold packs and stuff a year. I swear.
Jesus Christ.
Like, people spend obscene amounts of money on Ultimate Team, and they're just shitting out money every year because of FIFA. So I don't know. The game is flawed, massively flawed. It's broken in a lot of ways, and they don't need to listen to you because people are still going to play it. Like, I'm still playing it. I'm not putting any money into it, but like, I'm still playing the game. But I know it's broken, but that's all I've got this year. This is what you got for this year. So
That's all I've got.
But you know what I mean? If it's shit, and that's all.
When does PES come out?
November. I think it's like mid-November. And it looks really good. It plays really well. They haven't got all that rubber banding going on in the game, but like, FIFA's rubber banding is hilariously bad. Like,
Really?
your defenders will just will stand still and have players, and you'll just be moving them, but they just won't move. You'll play a match where you've taken 20 odd shots, the opponent's taken 6, they still beat you 4-1,
Right.
and it's just like,
I hate stuff like that.
it's AIDS. Yeah, it's just. Sorry, I apologize.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, FIFA gets like a 6 or even a 5 for me this year. It's one of the worst ones that they put out in a long time.
Well, one thing I wanted to talk about as well is because I was speaking to Ben about this earlier. Alien Isolation came out.
Yeah.
Or the reviews did. I can't remember when it's actually out. Might not actually be out till next week. I can't remember. But got some pretty mixed reviews. And I was reading through it, through some of them, trying to kind of ascertain whereabouts the truth lies. But it just feels like, by the sounds of it, we kind of knew this anyway, but it's like a Alien Outlast, but a bit shit, which is what it sounds like. Apparently there was one bit where, like, when you hide in a locker in Outlast and all that, it's very similar to that, but you have to like lean back and hold your breath, and apparently as holding your breath depletes your health. So if you've got a tiny bit of health and you're in a locker,
You die.
you die, yeah. And apparently you die a lot. And it's a real shame, because out of all the games that are going to be released this year, that was the one I was most excited about.
It looks like it's out now, Sam.
It probably is out now, but I'm probably not going to get it now. Or I'm going to wait and rent it, do the Ben Nathan rent.
I'd rent all day long.
Rinse, repeat.
7th of October, so Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm going to have to. I'm going to trade in Ghosts before the next Call of Duty, because obviously that's when everyone trades in the last one.
But the thing from all the other podcasts I listened to, I heard a lot of people that had played, show builds of Alien Isolation saying it was absolutely amazing.
I think what it is
there was
one
so
trick.
much hype. I mean, that's a problem, isn't it? The Eurogamer, that idiot that was shouting about Batman, was constantly going, "Are you hyped? Get hyped!" Fuck. Honestly.
Did you shank him?
Throw at you, mate. No, just get lost.
Jesus.
So
I mean, that's it. But apparently it's just long. It's just really long. You die a lot, and you're a bit. Apparently, when you're like 12 hours in or something, and you're still, you're waiting under a table, and you can see it. You're just a bit like you just kind of want to get on with it. Apparently, I don't know.
Sounds a little bit like The Last of Us.
hey, Ben, let's not, please, not this podcast.
Sacrilegious.
Please.
Not on this podcast.
No.
Not on this. Never this.
Not this one.
Leave him alone. Leave Joel alone. We had enough, Benjamin. We had enough. Why? But apparently this alien can kill you, just whatever. So even if you're hiding, he'll kill you. And I think that, for me, would be really fucking infuriating, pardon my French. And when you do it's in any game, when you're doing things right, you're going by the game's rules, the game's own rules on how to play, and then you die. And you're just like, but I don't get it. Actually, you know what? That's one thing with Shadow of Mordor, which I'll briefly come back to, is that on some of them you have to press X, and a big X flashes up, when you're pressing it. Only with the X, everything else is fine, the counters and all this stuff. And I press X, and I still get shafted, basically. And I'm like, but I've pressed it. You've told me to press X, and I have pressed it, and yet I'm still dying. What's that about?
Press it soon enough.
But I did, but it's only the X.
I did.
So I don't know whether it's that microsecond from moving my thumb a bit further to the X that it is.
Fat thumbs.
Crap, my fucking shit thumbs. But
Lost Planet was like that. By the time it was on the screen, it was already too late. It was like, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah, I remember you saying.
Tomb Raider had a few bits of that as well.
Tomb Raider.
Quick time
I didn't
events
Tomb Raider.
can get lost.
What's that?
Quick time events, basically. That's what they are.
Yeah, I mean,
that's
this
true.
is kind of a mini. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like a quick time event, I suppose. But yeah, it was really annoying. And the thing is that you sometimes 3 hits, or even 1 hit, can take it down over half your health. And you're like, man, there's one cool thing where it's like a last chance. So like when you deplete health, it kind of goes slow-mo, and then you have to move the cursor. It's a little bit like a quick time event. Yeah, you have to move the cursor into the circle and press the relevant button, and it's kind of like a last chance thing. You can only have like 1 or 2 of those. It's a little bit quick time, but it's a bit more skill rather than press X. You're like searching for it, and you've got to look for it, and also there's a little. So you've got to get it in the circle, and then with some enemies, there's a little red circle within that circle, and if you can get it to there in time and press the button, then it kills them. Not only do you counter it, but you kill them at the same time. It's pretty good. Little things like that. But anyway, yeah, the X thing really pisses me off. Sorry.
Pisses me off.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, it's a shame about Alien Isolation, but if anyone else gets it, or if anyone's listening and has got it, I'd be really interested. And this is kind of the other way around, because the whole point is that we get it and review it. But if anyone has it...
Discussion, Sam. Discussion.
Exactly.
Community.
Yeah, exactly. Then, yeah, let us know. So, yeah, anyone else been playing anything? I'm still playing Final Fantasy X on the Vita.
Oh, nice. Where are you up to?
Oh, God, where am I up to? I haven't got... I'm fighting a big dragon on an airship.
Oh.
Is that the final mission?
I don't think so. Maybe it is.
When I hear
I don't know.
when I hear people talk about Final Fantasy games and they say stuff like fighting a big dragon on an airship, it's just those games are so far gone.
Well, that's the thing, is that playing this, I was like, man, I forgot how fucking stupid Final Fantasy actually is. Like, this story is shit. It's so bad. I hate the acting in it. Doesn't make sense. They're all idiots. The story, everything about it, I'm just like...
10 hasn't got voice acting, has it? I mean, in this cutscenes it has, but what about the kind of general game?
Why
They say things, but most of it's delivered by text blocks, isn't it?
No, not in 10.
It's all voice, really.
Yeah, 10's voice.
All of it.
9 was the last use of text blocks.
Oh right, okay.
10's voice, but it's... What are you talking about? You thought you completed
even on
it?
quests? I can't remember. It was so long ago.
Yeah, it's all voice. I mean, it's got subtitles as well at the bottom. Yeah.
So why are you playing it?
I don't know.
It was on offer.
It's no, it was an offer, to be honest, actually. But yeah, it's because it's one of the Final Fantasies I haven't done at the main canon.
Yeah,
I've done everything else. Like,
right before the end. I've got a PS2 memory card somewhere, and I've got the save right before the end.
yeah.
Um,
The one thing as well I'm not liking about it is the equipment stuff. The fact that you're kind of upgrading, but not really. And the sphere system is okay, but I just find it like a weird tic-tac-toe or something, like board game. And it's a bit like, I don't know. Do you know? It's like I know why they've tried something different at the same time. I don't know. It's okay, but the way I know for some people, Final Fantasy X was like a real highlight. Well,
they tend to be very melodramatic games, don't they? I mean, especially 10, like because the guy is pretty pathetic. Tyler's, whatever his name is. Oh, did you see the advert for or the gameplay footage of Final Fantasy 15?
Yeah, it looks pretty amazing.
Yeah, that's so good.
I was
all right, I saw that. That looks fucking sick.
Yeah, I was just like, this is, we're getting to the point now. Maybe this is another discussion, but where it's just looking great. Where it's like, is the next step just going to be photorealism, basically, like almost capturing live video?
I mean, some of the landscapes in Destiny are like absolutely stunning. Like when you're kind of on, say, on
Mars,
when you're kind of like just kind of sat there waiting for one of your cult buddies to do something he's arsing around with or whatever. You're just kind of looking out over the like the ruined cities and stuff. It's absolutely like amazing. A really good looking game. Yeah, that's cool. What else you playing?
Me. I think that's it. Shadow of Mordor. I did Fez a little bit. Couldn't really be bothered with that.
God. I absolutely love that. The visuals of that and how it plays, but as in terms of the puzzles, oh my god, it's just I don't know if I've got the patience to get to the end of that.
Yeah, just feeling a little bit like that as well.
Yeah, it's exhausting.
Can I ask you guys a question? Have either of you played Danganronpa?
No,
Danganronpa.
I really want to get it.
Which one? Is it 1 or 2? Because the second one was on special offer on PS Plus at the moment. It's like reduced by a couple of pounds or something.
I haven't played the first one, so I want to get the first one.
What is it?
Danganronpa. It's like a Japanese. It's almost like a murder mystery. A little bit like kind of Phoenix Wright, or if I'm reading that right. A little bit like Persona as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Isn't Persona? Sorry, I'm completely mistaken there. Isn't Persona action?
There is action in Persona. Bob, why are you even talking about this if you haven't done Persona 4?
Yeah, I don't know. I want to try it. It sounds really good. It sounds like a really, really good game. But Persona, I don't know. I just haven't. Mate, I told you, I haven't turned my Vita on in 9 months.
I know. You need to. Mate, I didn't turn my Vita off in 9 months. When
I don't know where my charger is for it. I'll be honest with you.
You get it at the moment. There's Velocity 2X until Tuesday. That's wicked. That's a free game. It's amazing. I'm still playing through that. It's a huge game as well. I'm at like level, I think on the 30th level or something.
What's the biggest memory card you can get for that thing?
64.
How much does that cost?
Don't know.
Fuck. It's going to be a shit.
They're not cheap.
Can't you get like a fake one?
I don't know, because they're proprietary, aren't they? Sony within
fair enough.
SDs or whatever.
I love Sony.
Yeah, idiots.
I love Sony. Okay. So yeah, what? Anything else other people are playing?
I've bought a game called D4, which I haven't yet played. Have you seen anything of that?
Yeah.
It looks a bit bonkers,
I can't remember his name.
Guy who made.
I was about to say Forbidden Planet then.
That sounds like the game you played.
Yeah, no, I never played Deadly Premonition.
Okay.
I wanted to wait for the Sony one because it's got all these. They updated it and put loads of extra stuff in it.
I never released it.
Yeah, but I don't want to pay full whack for it. Okay.
So I've got that. So if I might be having some non-Destiny time this week, so I'll probably start that.
Nice.
I got Super Time Force.
Oh, wicked.
For free.
Yeah.
And I thought that's pretty good game. That's a lot of fun.
I played that around Ben's.
It's really good.
Useless.
It's really, really good. And also, one more thing. It's not something I'm playing, but something I should be playing in the next few months. Have you heard that GTA has got first person mode in the new one?
Yeah.
I did
First
hear this.
person.
Yeah.
Well, they think about first person mode and also a load of video capture tools and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but the video capture tools, isn't that just for the PC?
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I heard first person mode is like they've modeled the interior of cars and stuff, and imagine GTA first person, like fully open world first person shooter of GTA. Oh my god.
Well, I don't know.
Really, Sam? Come on.
They have to change, I think they're going to have to change the
What-
controls, aren't they?
What you gonna Debbie Downer on GTA on now? What you gonna say?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, report back. Let me know.
What? You're not interested in first person GTA?
I don't know. Should I be?
It's like playing the game again, like through a completely different perspective. If you know what I mean. Like obviously the story is the same.
Literally.
It's a completely different way of playing the game. You know,
Is it?
it makes it worth getting it again. It makes it more worth getting it again. I would say.
Yeah.
What is your problem?
I don't have a problem.
I think it'd be cool, but it's not enough to make me buy the game again.
Novelty for about 5 minutes, and then.
I don't think it's novelty. If they're actually going through the process of like modeling the interiors of things, I don't think that's a novelty. I think that's a proper. I think that's.
Yeah, I suppose.
They're actually putting in work. It's not just like up-resing shit. They're going back and doing things properly this time. So I don't know. I think that's a good addition to the game.
Okay.
And Sleeping Dogs next week.
Oh yeah, you're gonna bother with that again?
Am I gonna bother?
Are you? I don't think I could play. What you?
What?
So much
What, Sam?
games on your back catalogue.
I have. Oh my god, my
the fact
back
that you're
catalogue is
replaying
next level.
stuff. That's what I mean. The fact that you're replaying all this, it's like poor old Persona 4.
Do you know which games? Like I'm like 2 missions off the end of Watch Dogs now,
Right.
and I can't.
Just still playing that. Bear in mind,
I can't put myself through putting it on. What do you call it? I've just got Shadow of Mordor, and yeah, I just finished Dead Rising with my mate.
What, the first one?
You're fading. Your voice is getting quieter, brother.
What about now? Is it
Yeah,
better? Just finished Dead Rising with my mate.
Dead Rising 3.
Yeah.
Is it good?
Yeah, really good. Good game.
Do you want to talk about it?
No, not really. It's not good enough to talk about. I'll be honest with you.
Okay.
This is just it's a mindless zombie killing game. There's like the story is crap, is whatever.
Sounds just like Dead Rising 1 and 2.
Yeah, pretty much. And my back catalogue is pretty hardcore, I'd say. Oh yeah, and I've got fucking BJ Blazkowicz to as well. So
hey, just do Shadow of Mordor. Don't bother with Wolfenstein when you've got Shadow of Mordor ready, waiting.
Really?
Half human, half wraith.
How far through Shadow of Mordor are you?
I'm over halfway through, I reckon.
How long has it taken you?
Probably about 8 hours.
And how the fuck did you get it early?
I don't know. Someone else said that. I did get it early, didn't I?
Yeah, it came out on Friday, mate. And you've had it since when?
Like Wednesday? Tuesday, Wednesday?
Did it get posted to you?
Yeah, got posted.
Who did you buy it from?
I don't know if I should say this on live then.
We can text after.
We will find out together.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah, but I got it for
I'm
like 36 quid or something. I don't know. I don't think I paid full whack for it either.
I don't think it's.
We'll WhatsApp it afterwards. Okay. I don't want to get him in trouble. Maybe they'll give a sponsorship.
Well, yeah. All right. I want to know. I really want to know because if I can get games earlier from somewhere.
Okay.
But I need to dig out my PSP, my Vita. What do you call it? Charger and start
Charger.
playing
Yes.
games.
Do that.
And another thing. Sorry.
Come on.
They're not making. Have they stopped making Vita games?
No.
Or
It's just a
because
general lull.
You think this is a lull? Do you think this is a dip or a nosedive?
No, it'll still keep going.
It's
You
It's
think
just
so?
like, yeah. I mean,
They're
the
just not,
fact
they're
just
not
for indie
supporting it very
games,
well, though, are they? I mean, in all fairness, Sony have dropped the bollock on. They're
they
not
never do.
supporting it very well at all. I don't know why. I mean, it's such a great little system. I don't know why they haven't. It's a bit lame, really, the
They
way
always
they're
do
doing
this.
it.
They make a big song and dance. It's the same with the PSP.
No, they supported the PSP for a long time.
Yeah, they'll do it with Vita, I reckon. Vita's got more longevity than the PSP had.
But it's only third-party games coming out for the Vita. They're
No,
not.
there's Freedom Wars coming out in the next couple of months. That's a big first-party game.
But
Or is
I
it
don't know.
first-party? Maybe I'm mistaken again.
They haven't really like all the expos this year. There hasn't been anything about it.
Oh yeah,
So
they're not interested in promoting it. They're just riding the train of the PS4, aren't they? Like they're just ramming that one home.
so
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That doesn't make any sense to me. So they're just not going to talk about the console just because the PS4's out.
And when they do, they tend to use it as a peripheral.
Peripheral,
Thing.
yeah.
You can do remote
Yeah.
play or whatever. But now they're releasing PS Vita TV or PlayStation TV, which is essentially the same thing.
True.
Why would you bother? Like, the whole kind of marketing over Vita doesn't really make sense. And if you look at the kind of games that are available on it, it's a fantastic little platform, isn't it?
So it's So I don't know. I hope it's not dead.
I always think the Vita is what you make of it. You've got tons of games that you can play on it, indie or otherwise. And all right, there's no like real big hitters, like some proper big hitters, but there's enough on there to keep one sated. But if it's your primary console, like how people have with 3DS, say, or whatever, then yeah, there might be a problem. But as kind of a compliment to the PS4, just having it on you, I think it works.
All they need to do is bring out a GTA game on there, and they'll sell a fucking billion units, and it'll be worth them doing.
Yeah, a good GTA would be good.
They're probably not going to do that.
Well,
Although Minecraft comes out for it in the next couple of weeks. Basically, it's gone to the testing team and all that, and so that's going to shift. I mean, regardless of whether I'm going to play it, I'm going to give it a go this time. Although I don't think I'm going to last long with it. I don't know, but who knows?
But since mobile gaming is so big, like, why drop the ball on this? I've just not understood like why this console is not getting any looks at all.
Because
you've
mobile
said it.
gaming is so big, because Nintendo
so-
has a very niche market of the type of games that a lot of the people that are playing Nintendo 3DS are playing whatever the whatever that thing is,
Animal Crossing.
or stupid little games like that. I mean, no offense to people that play Nintendo, but no thank you. But they're playing that kind of thing, and that's what they want to play: Pokemon, Mario, that kind of stuff. Whereas Sony, the people you're aiming at are people that have got Xboxes or PlayStations and are playing like proper games, and it's the same kind of games that are coming out. And most of the good games that are on Vita are available on PSN, and you can play on PS3 or PS4.
Fair enough. I don't know.
They haven't made it. They purposely haven't kind of differentiated it enough, have they?
I just think it's a bit of shit. They're not really supporting the console
anyway,
that well.
No, you're right.
Coming out, that's going to be a big, that's going to be a big thing, regardless of whether we're going to play it. That's going to be a huge thing, and it's, at least it's another thing for Vita to have.
Yeah, true. Right, gonna come on to one last thing. A question from Dave in Streatham. What was your guys' favourite PlayStation 1 game? Ben.
Ask me last. I can't remember.
Bubba.
I actually.
Oh yeah, I've got it in my head already.
Go. Maybe pick a few, because I've got.
Okay.
Go on.
Okay.
You have to have one defining one.
Okay. Big defining one for me would possibly be Fighting Force.
Interesting.
I loved that game so much. A lot of people hated it, but me and my mates loved it. Another, obviously, Final Fantasy VII was excellent.
Right, yeah, sorry. Now I'm getting my range in.
Another one, the first Tomb Raider, was the first game I bought on the machine and was incredible.
Yeah.
And Vagrant Story.
Man, funny you say Vagrant Story, because I was literally thinking about that, how it was one of the few games that I got really far with, and never completed.
Same
I always
here.
wanted to. Right, there you go.
Too. Yeah, I thought it was brilliant though. I thought that was a really, really good game.
Yeah, it's a great premise as well.
Yeah, really, really good. Like, obviously the classics, Resident Evil, blah blah blah, but Vagrant's story was, I don't know, really, really good.
Yeah, it was good. What about you,
Yeah.
Ben? You had a thought? Ben's been captured by the police.
He's on toilet.
He's on toilet. He's on that toilet.
He's flushing his drugs down the toilet. Okay.
So, is he here? Is he back?
Yeah,
Ben?
sorry, I'm back. I had a bit of a
Toilet problem. Oh, sorry, don't know.
Something just started playing on my computer, and I had to cut the audio, otherwise everyone would be bored with it. I mean, Final Fantasy VII is a great shout because it's still one of my favourite games I've ever played, basically. So that was fantastic. I remember playing an inordinate amount of time with V Rally. Did you play that?
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh yeah.
It was because you could play a kind of co-op mode, couldn't you? And that was you could you had to get to, one of you would have to get to the checkpoint. I think it's the only game with a mode like that I've ever seen, really. I mean, I'm sure there's others that have got it, but yeah, that was really good. Yeah.
I have two more. Sorry.
Looking at some there.
MGS1.
Yeah, obviously.
Phenomenal, and Destruction Derby.
Man, I did love Destruction Derby as well. That was great. I was going to say, I had Metal Gear, Silent Hill.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, for me, that was a great one as well. Personally, really, really, really loved Tekken 3.
Oh yeah, played a lot of that. Wipeout. Wow.
Yeah,
that was good.
I liked Wipeout. So, does anyone remember the Siphon filters? I mean, to me, I used to prefer those over. For me, it was a continuation of Metal Gear Solid, basically.
Yeah.
I was reminding myself.
I beat 1 and 2, Siphon Filter 1 and 2.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
I did all of them. Yo.
What did developers of Siphon Filter go on to make?
I don't know. No idea.
I'm sure it's something.
Gabe.
Wasn't it
Gabe
a
something.
game on the Xbox, like a 2D game?
Let's find this out. Well, someone else find it out. I'm going to keep going. Siphon Filter. Medal of Honor, the original 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Love those. But especially multiplayer as well. Driver was really good.
Oh yeah.
Parappa
Oh
Rapper.
yes.
Oh yeah. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2.
I knew he was going to say that, right? But my favourite of that kind of game was Sean Palmer snowboarding. It was unbelievable. It was like that kind of thing where you could kind of trick almost the entire way down the mountain. It was like a kind of jokey.
Yeah.
thing.
I just used to love
kind of SSX.
half pipes. Yeah.
That was great. That was a really good game. The Sean Palmer one was fantastic.
Yeah, that was good. And the other one, as a couple which like not many people have heard of. Well, and I would say mainstream gamers, but maybe the ones Anyway, whatever. It was Silent Bomber. Did anyone remember that?
Silent Bummer. Never played
Bomber. Silent Bomber. Silent Bomber. That was really good. It was ridiculously. It's just about this. You just go around placing bombs on things and detonating them, but it's really manic, like classic Japanese, crazy. You should watch a Let's Play or something, and it was really, really difficult. I spent so long on the final boss. Like I'm talking, probably about 7 hours before I completed it. The final boss. It was ridiculous, but I really loved it. And also Bishi Bashi, which was this weird Japanese game me and my mate Sai played all the time, and it's all these weird little mini Japanese button bashing, things, which is really good. But I think that's
The
it.
last one from me was Colony Wars.
Which one was that?
That's like a space kind of flight sim, like fighter sim kind of thing. You're running around. Well, not running. You're flying around different solar systems, taking out big ships and having little dogfights in space and all this kind of stuff. It was fantastic. I spent so much time on that. Yeah, I've just seen it on this list. And it's fantastic. Such a good.
Oh, nice. I was just looking at Siphon Filter. So the guys went on to form. It was Eidetic or whatever, and then Sony bought it, and it became Bend Studio, not Ben's. Bend, as in.
Not mine.
No, it is. And and then they did a whole bunch of. I don't remember these. Do you remember these? Oh yeah, the PSP ones. So there was Siphon Filter 3. I remember that. Did that. Siphon Filter the Omega Strain. I remember that. Did that. Siphon Filter Dark Mirror. I remember doing and not completing. Logan Shadow. I didn't do. Combat Ops. God knows. I didn't do that either. Then they did Resistance Retribution, which is on the PSP. If anyone played that.
Golden Abyss on the Vita.
And they did Golden Abyss, yeah, which is good. Fight for Fortune, which I never did. And then they're doing something for PlayStation 4. So they went on.
Still going.
All right. Did all right, didn't they?
Did all right.
Did all right.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that was good. Anything else?
What a lengthy addition to our podcast.
It was, wasn't it? Jesus.
Mm.
It's like 2 hours or something. Christ. Okay. Well.
If you're still listening, then congratulations.
Yeah, you made it. You made it to the end.
You are hardcore.
Yeah, you are hardcore.
Hardcore.
Okay. Any last bits? Anything? Anyone else want to say? As I wrap up.
No,
Bubba.
Dan, get an Xbox One, and then we'll play some Destiny.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't hear that, but yeah, fine. Okay. Well, that's it from us. Click over to www.thewildboar.com, BORE.com for more gaming features, or you can follow us on Twitter at thewildboaruk, or email us on thewildboartv@gmail.com with any questions, opinions, or anything like that. Remember to follow our Twitch as well, which is the Wild Boar UK, where there'll be lots of Shadow of Mordor. Ben will probably be putting up some Destiny, and yeah, we'll just keep putting stuff up, and hopefully
the
some
Twitch,
cool-
Sam. The Twitch is the Wild Boar TV.
Sorry,
Twitch
is Wild Boar TV. So yeah, go have a look, or you can, if you follow our Twitter, it will link to when we're twitching anyway. That's it. Hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you again next time. Goodbye.
See ya.
Bye.
Peace.